Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Soya Aoyama, Fujitsu System Integration Laboratory Limited. I can speak English. I cannot speak English too, so I like to read script. So I'm a security researcher, a global Fujitsu distinguished engineer, and outside of the company, founder and organizer at B-Sides Tokyo. I've been working for Fujitsu more than 20 years as software developer of Windows. I developed NG drivers, WinSock application, Bluetooth profiles, and more. I've started security research in 2015, and I give a presentation at many conferences. But this is my first time at Hack in the Box. Okay, today I'll give a presentation entitled The Ransomware Protection Full of Holes. May 12, 2017. Do you remember? Yes, it's the day of the cyber attack by WannaCry. WannaCry causes tremendous damage all over the world. It spread beyond Europe, and according to one theory, eventually affected about 230,000 computers worldwide in over 150 countries. And the total damage is estimated at $4 billion. Many of today's attendees must have had awful experience with WannaCry, right? Microsoft had one answer of the ransomware represented by WannaCry. It's literally ransomware protection. Microsoft added this feature with the Windows 10 Fault Creators update released in 2017. The feature is called Control Folder Access and blocks ransomware and other malicious apps from accessing files in real time. Let's look at the details. The basis of Windows ransomware protection is control folder access, which consists of protected folders and allow an absolute control folder access. In addition, control folder access is disabled by default, and administrator privilege are required to enable it as well as to disable it, making it impossible to change settings easily. It would be a problem if attackers change it without permission right. Protected folders are folders that are protected by ransomware protection, and apps that you do not allow cannot access this folder. You can add folders you want to protect. Note that default protected folders such as documents and pictures are already included, even if you don't specify them. Allow an absolute control folder access are apps that can access protected folders. You can also add apps. It says apps determined by Microsoft as friendly are always allowed, but they are not displayed by default. In this way, Microsoft has implemented ransomware protection for Windows, but unfortunately, it's full of holes, and many researchers are researching ways to bypass it. This is a technique to bypass control folder access that use Office OLE, exploiting the inclusion of Office apps in the white list. This technique involves writing the encrypted data from memory to new file and replacing the original file using a rename call. This technique takes advantage of the fact that security features are disabled when Windows is started in safe mode. Finally, here is my research, a technique to using DLL injection. In 2018, I was researching ransomware protection. Of course, apps that are not included in allow an absolute control folder access cannot access protected folder. However, I have found that File Explorer can access protected folders. This means that if I can somehow inject a malicious DLL into the File Explorer, I can bypass the ransomware protection. By the way, do you know MITRE ATT&CK? This is a globally accessible knowledge base of advisory tactics and techniques based on real-world observations. In it, component object model hijacking is described as a technique to insert malicious code in place of legitimate software. Since COM objects are managed in the registry, it's possible to hijack them by editing the registry to reference malicious payload instead of the legitimate COM object. All that remains is to find the target COM object in the registry. Under context menu handlers in the registry are the means that appear when you right-click in File Explorer. Among them, I focus on this GUID. If you search this GUID in the registry, it will appear under CLS ID. So this GUID is the CLS ID that identifies the COM object. And the default value for InPROC server 32 is shell32.dll. if you change this malicious DLL, you can inject into File Explorer. But you cannot change this value directly, because this is merged view of HKey class's root. As described in MSDN, the merged view of HKey class's root shows the merged value of HKey local machine and HKey current user. And if both values are available, HKey current user will take precedence. For this CLSID, HKey local machine has a value. But HKey current user does not even have a key. Therefore, adding a value to HKey current user will change the value of the HKey class's root. So, write a batch file with a command to add the path of the malicious DLL to HKey current user, and a command to restart File Explorer. When this causes File Explorer to restart, it loads the malicious DLL. The malicious DLL is executed on the File Explorer process, and those can encrypt protected files. This is completed ransomware POC. Of course, at that time, I reported the result of this research to Microsoft, but they said it was not security vulnerability for the following reasons. Predicated on the attacker having login access to the target account already. Since you are only able to write to HKCU, you will not be able to affect other users. There also does not appear to be an escalation of privileges. And finally, it would appear the attacker would not gain anything from this attack. Attacker can get ransom from this attack, right? This is my past research. Well, I found an interesting article in the 2021 Forbes. It's the article Windows 10 Ransomware Protection are effective against ransomware. I was skeptical of that article because I thought my previous POC was still valid and could easily be encrypted. Just to be sure, I ran my POC on the latest Windows. Oops, sorry. Here is a video of the POC. I mentioned area running on Windows 11. Here, the image of the echina is preserved in the pictures folder. Next, open the ransomware protection settings screen. And enable control folder access. Run batch file that have been successfully encrypted in the past. The program was blocked and echina is safe. Finally, a check of the block history shows that the control folder access protected the picture folder from the file explorer. As you can see, my previous POC is no longer valid. Microsoft said, my report is not vulnerability, but they have secretly fixed it. I was so frustrated that I looked for other holes in ransomware protection. Until now, I focused on apps. But this time, I focused on folders. When you check the property of the picture folders, it says you can change. And when you try to change the folder location, you ask if you want to move the files like this. A good idea, but bad idea for Microsoft, just popped into my head. If I change the picture folder location directly in the registry, I suspect that no files are moved. If you check the control folder access registry, you will find allowed applications and protected folders under it. They seem to correspond to allow an absolute control folder access and protected folders. However, both are empty inside. Where are documents and pictures? The default protected folder is in another registry, like this. And since they are under HKey current user, of course, you can change them with user privileges. Here's an overview of the new POC. Normally, control folder access protects the picture folder so that malicious apps cannot access and encrypt this image file. However, if malicious apps change the location of the picture folder, the folder protected by control folder access will change. But the files are not copied or moved. And since the folder before the change is no longer protected, it should be possible to encrypt the image files right. Oops. Sorry. I actually tried. Execute a new batch file. This time, reboot the system after change the user folder. This is because the system needs reboot to recognize the changes user folder. So, rebooting task a long time. Okay. Unfortunately, Microsoft could not protect the Echina. Check the block history as before. There is nothing in the block history. Yes, I outboxed Microsoft again. Of course, I reported the result of the research to Microsoft. Microsoft also said it's not security vulnerability. And what does surprise? Just this one phrase this time. Because control for the access is defense in depth security features. What? In fact, the MSRC's Microsoft Security Servicing criteria for Windows page has a section called Defense in Depth Security Features. And says that control for the access is not covered by bounty. As such, we can't count on Microsoft about ransomware protection. So I created a POC that looks even more dangerous, because I think many people need to know about this danger. Again, I used the component object model hijacking method. To tell the truth, component object model hijacking can specify a network path. This means that there is no need to send a DLL file into the target. Additionally, fileless attacks are possible if some vulnerability can be used to directly write to registry. I used the CVE 2018-1335 command injection vulnerability in this POC. This is a vulnerability about Apache Tika server. You can download Python script from here. And here is the modified Python script. The red underlined part is the command to be executed on Windows. Create the user to access curly, connect to curly, add the registry entry to load the DL on curly, and restart File Explorer. Okay. Now, let me show you. The Echina is safe. Open the Ransomware Protection settings screen. And enable control folder access. Here, check the IP address. And use it to execute the Tika server. From here, the attacker uses curly to attack the target. The malicious DLL is on curly. Created a Samba user using PDB edit. And restart Samba already complete. Execute the Python script shown earlier. So, unfortunately, Microsoft could not protect the Echina. Yes. I brilliantly encrypted files remotely. In summary, the registry of folders like documents, pictures, under HKey current user because users are free to change their location. The problem is the Microsoft included these existing registries in a protected folder by default. Microsoft should have let users add them instead of including them. So how do we address this problem? The first is to add the folders you want to protect yourself. However, I do not recommend this because many researchers have found holes in ransomware protection, and many more may be found in the future. Second, always back up your important data. Naturally, the backup destination should be other than PCs, media, NAS, cloud, and etc. It would be even better if it's possible to manage generations. Please don't ask which product is better. I don't know the specific product name. Finally, as you can see, this time, I could encrypt the user's data in a very easy and very ridiculous way. It was so easy method that you probably thought you could do it yourself. But please never create ransomware using this method. Okay, my presentation is over, but time is okay. So I show you another video. When I submit for the CFP, the organizer asked me one question. What versions of Windows are affected? I checked it again a week ago with Windows 11. Windows 11 version 2282, which has not yet been officially released. Okay, please show you. Okay, version is 2282. And Windows Update. Yes. Yeah. Okay, this is my presentation is over. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a question. Are you aware of any ransomware groups that may be bypassing Microsoft ransomware protection?
I don't know. So my work is my new method of attacks. So another ransomware is, so I don't know.
Okay. Are you aware of any other folders that might be affected by this control access folder limitation besides documents and pictures?
Oops, sorry.
Can you go back to his screen?
So I know is a document folder and the picture folder and so I check this. Okay. とりあえずチェックしよう。Okay. Okay. Okay. Edit. 미러링. ここでやんなくて。いいね。Okay. And, そっか。ピクチャー。ずっと待ってか。チャットできるか。かなSorry? 地球ロカマシナ、current users. So, よいしょ。そう。見えない。current user. ソフトウェア。Microsoft. Windows. Explorer. Explorer. User. Share folder. Yeah.
So
Yes,
of-
all.
Oh, wow. Okay. Even desktop.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions from the floor? No? Okay. Let's give Soya a hand of applause again.
Thank you.